Each year in the United States, 400,000 Americans die suddenly and unexpectedly due to cardiac arrhythmias. Almost 4,000 of them are young people under the age of 35. And worse yet, many are infants and toddlers. And there may not be any signs to let you know of their health issue. So stay tuned to find out more on how death due to arrhythmias can almost always be prevented. Cardiac arrhythmias, they aren't just always so obvious as you may think. You or someone you may know could have this problem and not even know it. Hi, and welcome to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. So glad to have you here. Here to speak out and to share their miraculous story is Angela Watchke and her sweet daughter, Aubrey. They aren't just any mother and daughter combo. They are family. They are my husband's daughter and granddaughter, and I am so excited that you're here. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, how crazy is this? This is fun.
It's great. It's great, yes.
Well, Aubrey, you have just a miraculous story, young lady.
Yeah.
You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, can we talk just first of all about what happened to Aubrey? Of course, I know, but the audience needs to know because this is a bigger issue, and I really want to help you create awareness. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Sure. So Aubrielle, shortly after her second birthday, we took her in for a well check. We took her to the pediatrician, just like a normal well check. I believe the pediatrician's words were, "She is the picture of health." So she had a clean health, never had so much as a Tylenol. Great healthy girl. So shortly after her second birthday, we had a normal Saturday, out and about running errands, and I was gone. My husband was also supposed to be gone, but at the last minute, some extenuating circumstances came up, and he made the choice to stay home, which was a wonderful decision, a miraculous orchestration, you know, I believe by God. I know by God. I was at my daughter's gymnastics and looked down and received a string of texts. I felt my phone vibrating, but I hadn't looked until finally it kept vibrating and vibrating, and I looked, and I saw a string of text messages that no parent ever expects or can imagine to see. It was my older daughter texting me, all caps, "Mom, help, help, come home. Aubrey is having a seizure. She's not breathing, help." I flew out of there as fast as I possibly could and raced home. Arrived home to a street load, just a street full of ambulance and police and fire, and not knowing what was going to happen. While I was driving, I somehow managed...
And you were pregnant at the time.
I was 6 months pregnant.
6 months pregnant.
And I called home while I was driving fast, and some stranger that I didn't know answered the phone. I said, "Who is this?" She said, "It's your neighbor." And I said, what's going on? Is Aubrey, is she okay? And she said, "Honey, I just don't know." And I said, "Is she alive?" And then she just paused. And she said, "I don't know." And I just hung up the phone, and I called out to God to breathe his life back into my baby girl. I had no idea. I left, everything was fine. And this was just a shock. Pulled up. She was in the ambulance. We didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was happening. I just collapsed on the ground, but police officer came out of the ambulance and said, "We have her breathing." Yes, it happened to you. And said, "We have her breathing on her own." Okay, so I thanked God. I had no idea what was happening. So we arrived at the Children's Hospital and were met by two specialists at the door. And they said, "Ma'am, your daughter has long QT. She survived. She suffered a sudden cardiac arrest." And I didn't understand. I kept saying, "What are you trying to tell me my 2-year-old had a heart attack? I don't understand." And they explained, "No, it is not a heart attack. It's very different. It's sudden cardiac arrest is when your heart stops pumping blood. That is the clinical definition of dead, really, is what a sudden cardiac arrest is, which is different than a heart attack, which is where there's a blockage and that's serious, and there's obstruction and that's an emergency, but a sudden cardiac arrest is actually called sudden death."
Which a lot of athletes, are dying because of long QT, and they don't realize it.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So that is kind of where this journey started. That was the first we'd ever heard of long QT. We had no idea. This was just over a year ago, and now to know what I know and to know that it's unfortunately so much more common than people even realize.
Right.
So to get awareness out and for people to know. But the good news is that it's very treatable. So I don't want to scare anybody.
Absolutely.
Lots of people have it.
But it's so often misdiagnosed.
Right.
And that's the bigger message too. And the fact that Aubrey is sitting here today, a year later, and as you can tell, she's got lots of energy. It's just a miracle.
Yes.
I mean, it is a full-blown miracle. And and people need to know about this long-term QT, long QT, don't they? Yeah. So it's long QT syndrome.
Long QT syndrome, yes.
So how is it misdiagnosed? What do usually doctors say that you have?
Well, first of all, let me just briefly say
people
what long
faint.
QT is.
Yeah, okay,
Long
good.
QT is an electrical disturbance of the heart. She has a completely structurally normal healthy heart. There's no holes in it, nothing like that. It's strictly with the electrical recharging system. As you know, your heart recharges, QRST, and back again.
Right.
Well, in someone with long QT, it takes too long to get from the Q to the T. And because of that, it can cause your heart to stop because it takes too long. That's why they call it long QT. So oftentimes, we will get misdiagnosed because it's in otherwise perfectly healthy people. That's why they don't know.
Right.
Nobody looks sick. She looks perfectly healthy.
Right.
And she is healthy except her electrical system in her heart.
And no one would ever know to get that checked because who has heard of long QT syndrome? Not many people.
Right. It often gets misdiagnosed as sometimes seizure disorder.
So like epilepsy
Or like sometimes.
even...
But the truth is, Wendie, oftentimes there aren't real clear warning signs except fainting. And so I would really like to get this out there.
Yeah, that's good.
If you or your child ever has any kind of unexplained faint, the truth is there's no such thing as just a simple faint. Definitely get that explored with a simple EKG. That's all it takes is an EKG. Oftentimes that will be a warning sign is unexplained fainting episodes, either during exercise, excitement, or emotional trauma sometimes, or like an alarm clock or a roller coaster, something like that, some kind of surprise. So exercise, surprise, can sometimes cause a faint with people with long QT.
Okay, that is really good information.
So get that explored.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Well, we want to talk more about this and hear more about your story, but stay right where you are, and maybe this little wiggle worm will stay where she is. Stay right there. Hi, I'm Wendie Pett, founder of Grace in Action. Did you know that there is a lot in your community that you can do to give a hand up, not a handout, but a hand up to single moms and children in need? Your dollars mean so much. Whether it's a small amount or a large amount, it all adds up. And so I want to thank you in advance for your donation. You can go to grace-n, the letter N, action.org, and anything that you donate is greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance. Hi, and welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett, and we have Angela and Aubrey Watchke here, and we are talking about something that is actually very serious. It's called long QT syndrome, and Aubrey experienced long QT syndrome a year ago, and she's just a miracle story. She has really overcome so much, and it's been just again, a miracle that she's with us, and she has a defibrillator that she wears and that kind of thing. But Angela's really, her passion and her mission right now is really to get people educated. So I felt very strongly about having her on the show, and we were talking a little bit about the actual process that Aubrey went through and just the whole story. But can you go a little further and talk about, first of all, you didn't just take one doctor's word for it. You are a researcher, and I know that because you're family and you're very good at research. She researches everything. But with that came great things because you were able to research and find the doctor at Mayo Clinic that really specialized in Aubrey's condition, and it made a world of difference.
It did.
So,
well, long QT, there are doctors that know about and specialize, but we were fortunate to find the specialist, kind of the guy who writes the textbooks for long QT. So she is in the best care. Do you know Dr. Ackerman?
Yeah.
Yeah, is he your buddy?
Yeah.
Right, Dr. Ackerman is the world-leading specialist on long QT, and so
fantastic.
he is the go-to guy, and he's right down at Mayo Clinic. So he's a wonderful doctor. But yes, so we researched and got her the best treatment possible.
Good.
While she was in the hospital after her sudden cardiac arrest, she did have open heart surgery to have a defibrillator placed inside of her. It constantly monitors her heartbeat, and anytime it sees that it's erratic, because that's what long QT can do. It can cause an erratic heartbeat, which causes the heart to stop. So the device is constantly reading her heart rate and will charge and shock her back
Right.
If
If need be,
necessary.
right.
The exact same way that an external defibrillator worked the
Right.
first time to revert her heart back and to save her.
Wonderful.
And that's another point I would just like to make. If you have children in sports. Now, people don't need to worry and be stressed
No,
out about this.
no.
However, number one, it's a good idea to get a simple EKG.
And you
It is
had
a 5-minute
your other
test.
kids tested.
Yep.
And so,
Yep.
because it is genetic.
It is genetic, so it's a congenital heart disorder. It's present at birth. With Abrielle, it was spontaneous. It's very rare for that to happen. Typically, it's passed down. None of our other family members, myself, my husband, or our other 6 children have it. Just Abrielle. She does have then a 50% chance of passing it down.
Right.
So it is congenital, but a simple EKG can show whether someone has long QT.
And that's something that, I mean, insurance will pay for, right?
Yeah, for the most part,
Right.
especially if there's any question of warning signs such
Sure.
as an unexplained faint.
The fainting.
Or another thing is any kind of sudden death in the family of a family member in your family tree under the age of 40. If there's any kind of unexplained sudden death,
And get tested.
that is a real key to get an EKG done.
You know, and I am going to put Dr. Ackerman's information on the bottom of the screen, so because it's worth
Yep.
traveling to Mayo, you know, if he is the,
well, the
the
SADS
specialist.
organization, sudden acute death syndrome.
They probably have it on theirs too.
Yeah, it's all the information you need to know. So you can put that at the bottom of the screen, the SADS.org information.
Okay, good. Good.
Yes.
I will put that there.
Go to, yep.
Well, hey, Aubrey,
Yeah.
do you remember when this happened to you, when your heart stopped?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
What do you remember about it?
I don't know.
You don't know. Do you remember there being a lot of people there and trying to help you breathe? Do you remember the ambulance ride? Do you remember anything about maybe God talking to you? What do you remember? The hospital?
Elsa gave me a snowflake.
Elsa gave her a snowflake.
Elsa gave her a snowflake. Well, you do
Came to
remember.
visit her and gave her a snowflake. Yes.
That's good. That's
Right.
good.
Yep.
Elsa actually real.
Elsa's real? I
Do you
believe it.
remember some of the people that came, like Sergeant Derek? Remember him?
Derek.
Derek,
Yeah.
who's now her friend. Some of the first responders, phenomenal,
Wow.
have now become close friends. So yeah,
That's fantastic.
Yep, the outreach has been amazing.
How would you say that this event in Aubrey's life has shaped and maybe changed the way you and Mike, your husband, and the kids are all living, and has it changed your day-to-day life, really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say, first and foremost, I think as a mother, and especially more of a type A kind of controlling mother, I had all this laundry list of things I wanted to avoid as far as safety. Life jackets, check. Stranger danger, check. All of these things like I had that could possibly happen. But I'll tell you what, nowhere on that long list of scary things that could happen
Right.
did I ever in my wildest dreams imagine my child would be laying there watching Saturday morning cartoons and would suddenly die.
Right, right.
Never imagined it. And because that actually happened, and by the grace and miracle of God, she was saved. No brain damage, no organ damage, which is
And she
truly
was
a
out
miracle.
for
She was
10 I
under
mean, your
for a
husband was
good
keeping
10
her
minutes.
alive
My
for
husband
10
did
minutes.
CPR
Yeah.
for 10 minutes until they were able to revert
Yeah.
her heart. But that actually happened. And because of that, first and foremost, it shifts your priorities.
Sure.
You major on the major and you minor on the minors.
That's right.
You refocus. What's important in your life? What actually really matters and what doesn't matter?
Right.
And what is life all about? First and foremost, it's about honoring and serving and glorifying God.
Absolutely.
But second, it's about people. You know, and so what's getting in the way of that? Does it really matter? I mean, all of those things happen because after this happened to her, any kind of problems or worries or stressors we may have had just went to the wayside because our priorities changed.
I think that's a good reminder in general, Angela. It's like, let's not wait for something tragic to happen, to shift, and to really focus on what is good and right with the world and with each other. We're called to be to bring God glory.
Right.
And how do we do that? By honoring Him, by loving one another, loving Him, loving one another. And it's just, it's that simple. But I think it's beautiful that
I know it's a fun game.
that it does allow priorities to shift a bit and to say, all right, God, it's your plan. What do you have for me? I'm not going to get so caught up because you're type A, right? And so, which you got to be.
A little less so now, though. You know?
If you've got that many kids, I mean, she's super mom, by the way.
Yeah, well.
But the fact that it's like, okay, now I'm going to just go fully on God's plan. And yes, you still need to be organized and due diligent, but it's almost like, okay, whatever you have for me today, Lord, I'm with you.
Right, you got to
And
let
that's
it go.
the beauty of
You
it.
just got to
Life
let it
is
go
too
and live
short.
moment to moment. We certainly did that. We reshift, we reprioritize what really matters, and we really, truly, when I say live for the day, live for the day. Because in this kind of circumstance where you wake up one morning and everything is fine and everything can change in an instant, it really makes you kind of ask yourself what matters.
That's true.
And
That's
focus
true.
on what matters.
That's it. And,
Right.
you know, God really is in the heart business.
Yep.
He's worked on Aubrey's heart and healed her heart and making it stronger and stronger every day. And He's worked in all of our hearts, even as a family, through the process. And it's just a blessing, and it makes me cry, actually. So it's beautiful. So I am so glad that you could speak out on long QT today, because it is a big issue. And when I look at you, Aubrey, I just see God in your eyes, okay? You are a miracle, and your story matters, sweetie, and you're going to help others be aware of long QT syndrome. And so hopefully they won't have to go through what you went through. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right. Now, along with regular checkups and a good diet comes regular exercise to make sure you maintain a healthy body and a healthy heart. So stick around for some exercises that you can do anytime, anywhere, that won't put massive stress on your heart. That's coming up right here next. Have you ever told anyone, go walk it off? Well, it turns out that's great advice. It's great for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hi, I'm Wendie, Pett fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise and wellness system. With Walk It Off Now, it's a 6-week walking workout program. You'll get 6 weeks of online videos right to your email inbox. You get an ebook, a walking journal, plus access to my private Facebook community to keep you accountable. So what are you waiting for? Go to walkitoffnow.com and join me. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Before the break, we were talking about long QT syndrome and how you and your loved ones can do just a simple EKG to get tested. Your heart is your life. With that said, it's vital to do exercise that will benefit the heart, and yet it won't put too much stress on it either. One of the best things you can do is walk. Walking is simple. It's not intimidating. And you can walk by yourself, with a friend, a spouse, a dog, or your entire family. The key is to walk often. Walk around your neighborhood. Park the furthest away from your destination so you can get in more steps. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. And set your alarm on your phone or your watch. And walk every 20 to 30 minutes so that you're not sedentary. You can even walk in place if you have to. So no excuses. These simple shifts in lifestyle will help give the heart a good pump often throughout your day. Now, another way to get the heart healthy is by doing some high-intensity interval training. You may have heard of HIIT training. That's high intensity without the intervals. But a few of my favorite high-intensity interval exercises are really quite basic. They're oldies but goodies. And I'm going to take you through a series real quick. Now, I say real quick because really, it is quick. In a little, like cardio burst way, you can get these into your day. And there's compelling evidence that shows that high-intensity interval training is far more efficient than long-endurance marathon type of training. Really, if you have 5 minutes, you can get in a workout. All right, you want to join me? Come on, hop off the couch and let's go. We're going to do just 5 moves for 45 seconds each with a 15-second rest in between each one. All right? Now feel free to grab a sip of water if you need to. And we'll just do 1 set today to give you an idea, but ideally you'd want to do like 3 or 4 rounds, sets if you will, all right? And again, remember that if you need to modify the move and take the exercises really down a notch to match whatever your ability, that's fine, all right? You'll get better with practice, I promise. So, are you ready? All right, let's go. All right, I'm getting serious here. I put my hair back in a ponytail and everything, so you know we're going to get a sweat on. Now what we're going to do, just again, 5 moves. We're going to do jumping jacks. We're going to do high knees, uppercuts. Now I'm going to walk you through these. Uppercuts, twists, and skaters, okay? So these 5 exercises will get that heart pumping in no time. Again, I want you to modify according to your ability. And again, when you practice, you're going to get better. So just keep at it and have some fun while you're doing it. Don't judge yourself. Just have some fun. We're going to do this together, but you'll need eventually, when you do this, use your timer on your phone or a stopwatch or something like that. So again, it's 45 seconds for the exercise and a 15-second rest. So are you ready? All right. Come on, get off that couch. Here we go. Here we go. Jumping jacks. And begin. Now rest for 15 seconds. You'll see that your heart rate is up. It's good. Remember to take perfect form too. Now if you are, honestly, if you're not doing jumping jacks well, go ahead and step out side to side. Okay, it's been 15 seconds. Here we go, high knees. I'm getting out of my spot, sorry. Okay, now we're resting for 15 seconds. Now that one really got your heart rate up. I know it did. Get a sip of water if you need to. If you can't take your knees way up high, just do what you can do. Or even run in place, kicking the knees or your feet up to your bottom. Okay, so ready for the next one? We're gonna do uppercuts. Here we go. This is what I call uppercuts. With a twist. Wow. Now I bet your arms start to feel really heavy, right? Sometimes we're like, oh! But that's good. You're working hard. And you're working your obliques as well. Remember, you do 3 to 4 rounds of this. Ready? Next one, twist. You can... How's that heart feeling now? That's only 4 minutes. Come on, we got one more minute. Again, if you only have 5, do 1 round. If you have 15 minutes, do 3. We're about to do the skaters. Here we go. Go from side to side. Take it low. All right, good job. Oh my goodness, you should be so proud of yourself. So we did the jumping jacks, the high knees, the uppercuts, the twist, and the skaters, and that was only 5 minutes. It's a great workout, and try to get in 3 to 4 rounds if you can, but if you just have 5, you'll get in a good heart workout, I promise. So I'm glad you're breathing heavy and that you got your sweat on. I like it. And honestly, if you do something like that every day, you will see big improvements in your health, and you'll lose unwanted fat effectively while still building muscle, and that's the key. Now, since we're on the topic today of hearts, I want to get to the heart of the matter for just a moment before we go. Your heart is the central operating unit for the entire body. It pumps blood and oxygen and nutrients to every cell. It's your home base from which the entire body receives its commands, including the mind and its ability to think. So the heart is vital. Phrases such as, home is where the heart is, or home sweet home, or a man after his own heart, which is in 1 Samuel 13:14. Even the word homesick are all reminders of where we long to be, home. And until we get to that eternal home, it's vital that we live in a healthy home now. And that home is your body. So I really encourage you to take it seriously. And if you're out of shape and depressed, however, I want to know, do you tend to stuff your home, literally, your literal home, and also your heart with things that will never fill the void of what you're truly seeking? You know, it's really a good question to ask yourself, and maybe a hard one to answer honestly. But I encourage you to dive deeper on that one today. Promise? Dig deep on that. Now, if we long to be home, and home is where the heart is, and that is which operates our body to our fullest ability when it's healthy, then we should honor that home. Don't you agree? When we clean it and purify it and fuel it and exercise it, it offers maximum benefits, and the rewards are far greater than what the heart offers physically. The heart is the home to a healthy mind, body, and spirit, and that's what Visibly Fit is all about. And the first step to cleansing that filth from the heart, emotionally and physically, is the way that we think. And so when you accept and realize and know your true worth, and that it's important to have a clean, healthy heart, then you'll take the steps necessary and put those healthy actions into place. You might need to fake that part until you make it. You know, that part about feeling truly worthy, partly because it's hard to receive and receive the forgiveness and the love. And it's also hard to give it sometimes. But that's the place you need to go and unlock the place that you've been trapped and not living that healthy lifestyle. It's a process, but it takes a step. Now, once you do, then you're going to start making wiser choices with food and exercise, because you'll fully know who you are and whose you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you're made for such a time as this. Yes, that's 2 scripture verses put together, but they both speak great truth. I hope you enjoyed this show today. May God bless you abundantly and give you the will and the desire to continue to make healthy choices so that you may become visibly fit, mind, body, and spirit. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Make healthy choices. Nice spending time with you. Reach out to me on social media, and I hope to see you there. Take care.